Hello? Oh.
You're fucking dog shit!
Are you hacking? Are you really hacking?
Man, like what the fuck?
Fuck you! Yeah!
So, I had met Carson, I think before we were ever friends, I had met him in elementary school. I'd assumed we were somewhat similar. I was a nerd. He had glasses, so he must have been a fucking nerd. I'm Melvin. But we didn't really hang out until middle school, where I think we had similar friends, a similar friend group, and he had often come to the table we would eat at during lunch, and we became pretty good friends. And we hung out. The reason I wanted to talk about Carson is because I think he's an extremely interesting individual who has changed a lot as a person, even in the past 4 years. From selling cheats for video games to now going to college, playing football, playing guitar, and learning to become a pilot. I think that he's changed a lot as a person, and I find that extremely interesting. So I wanted to talk to him about it. So I hit him up. We decided to meet at the Blue Valley Northwest football field, not too far from where we used to live, to ask him some questions. Well, I was going to ask him questions there, but it was rather windy out that day and rather cold. So we decided to hit up a place that served fine cuisines, and I asked him some hard-hitting questions. What was your introduction into creating cheats for video games?
My introduction was one day I just woke up and I was like, dude, I want to be better at this game. So I decided to learn how to make cheats. I used to code like websites and all that shit. I started doing it in 8th grade, and I stopped doing it when I was 18 because I didn't want to have to pay taxes.
Did you ever? What was the strangest kind of people you ever met? Like you did business with?
Koreans.
Yeah.
It's illegal for you to cheat in Korea, but I made cheats for like professional players.
Did anyone ever try and fuck with you? Like try and get something out of you? Try and trick you?
There were attempts at doxing me and stuff.
Anyone ever get close?
No.
No?
No.
Good.
They usually found like a random ass guy named Carson. It
That's
wasn't
fucked
me.
up. Yeah. And I believe you've stopped, right? You don't do it anymore.
Yeah, I stopped.
And why'd you do that?
I got a girlfriend at the time, and I didn't have time for it. And then I also started football. And I realized how like immature that community was. They were just like, I wanted to just start changing. So, yeah, mid-change.
Do you ever miss it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I'm messing around with people was so fun. Like stream snapping, just fucking with people. But then you also had like, I was the most popular cheat at the time, so I was pretty popular. And I just left the scene completely. After that round of questions and after a bite to eat, I thought it fitting that there was a change of scenery for the next part of the interview. And while it took a while calling different places, there was finally an airport that was willing to facilitate our filming. So thank you, Brian. I really do appreciate it.
What are you studying in school right now?
Aviation. I'm working to be a commercial pilot.
So where'd your interest from aviation come from?
Yeah, so I built Lego planes when I was younger, and I've always loved flying. I just thought it was really cool to go in the sky and just be a badass. My grandparents, I asked them if they could get me flight lessons when I was younger, and I had to work for it, obviously, but after a year or two, they finally were like, yeah, we'll get you some flight lessons.
And what was the hardest thing about trying to understand flying?
The hardest part of it is weather. Learning weather theory, it's boring, but you have to learn it, to be a good pilot. And
Weather theory?
Weather theory is pretty much just learning about like cloud levels and where you can fly above, and you have to learn about how storms are created. You have to plan ahead pretty much, things like that.
I know that you now start playing guitar.
Yeah.
And when'd you start doing that?
About 2 years ago now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Why'd you want to get into it? Did you get the babes?
Yeah, realistically. No, actually though, I was dating somebody at the time, and I was gonna make them a song for
our anniversary type thing. And well, I just started learning guitar, and at first it was a joke, but now I just love playing it every day. I actually write songs myself. I want to start recording albums and things like that.
You play football now, right?
Right, yeah.
And who do you play for?
Well, right now, I was going to play for K-State. I train with the team right now. I do weights and stuff, but I didn't want to sign with them because I want to go out of state, and I want to have the joy of that.
What position do you play?
I'm a punter and kicker and holder.
And what got you interested in playing football? Were you just always into it?
I woke up one day and I was like, yeah, let's play it. Let's do it.
And any tips for the audience? Any words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom? Let me think for a second. I would say don't give a fuck. Just be a badass.
So why talk about Carson, right? Why cover him? Well, there really isn't a moral takeaway from all this, but I wanted to talk about him because he, in my mind, is the person who has changed the most in such a short amount of time, and I think that highlights how quickly we as people evolve, how quickly we change. We become completely different people over just like 5 years in the case of Carson, and I think that's extremely interesting. So thank you, Carson, for changing, for answering all my questions, and for just being you. And thank you for watching.